Hello students, welcome to class. Today is our next session of economic importance of bacteria and fungi. Okay, as we have done bacteria, today we will study about the fungi. Okay, so now let's start the chapter. First of all, you have to know the general features of the fungi. Okay, general features are like the fungi having no chlorophyll. Okay, the first feature is it having no chlorophyll. Okay, that's why it is not included in plants. Okay, in earlier classification, okay, the fungi was placed in plants, but according to new classification, the fungi have different class now. Okay, that is not included in the plants. Okay, because there is no chlorophyll. How can it be a plant? Okay, plants having chlorophyll, it does not have any chlorophyll. Now it is not differentiated in roots, leaves, stems and flowers. Okay, its whole body is not differentiated in all these things. Okay, they are eukaryotes. That means it having a true nucleus, a definite nucleus. Okay, and it is multicellular. Okay, the bacteria was prokaryote and unicellular, but this is multicellular. Okay, these are not plants. So if they are not plants, then the mode of nutrition will be heterotrophic. Okay. So now some common fungi are like molds, mushrooms and toadstools. Okay, you might have heard these names before. Mushrooms are edible. Okay, some are edible. We use them as the vegetables at home. Okay, so first of all, let's study about molds. Molds are the kind of fungi which grows on bread. Okay, the bread we eat at our homes. If you put it somewhere for some days, okay, then after 3 to 4 days you will see that some green colored patches or some black colored patches, okay, on that bread. So that is the mold. Okay, and the molds only it doesn't only attack on the breads, it also attacks on the fruits and cooked food. Okay, so it grows on bread, fruits, etc. The most common example of molds is rhizopus. Okay, so rhizopus commonly known as bread mold. Okay, it is commonly called bread mold because it is mainly found on the bread, but it also may attack on the fruits or foods. Okay, now see, it consists of transparent thread-like network called hyphae. Okay, the fungi, the body of fungi is actually a network. Okay, a network of that is called hyphae. Okay, like this a network is formed of hyphae. Okay, one particular thread will be called hyphae, and the all over mass of these threads is called mycelium. Okay, so if one thread of hyphae is collectively they will be called mycelium. Okay, now hyphae, what was the hyphae? Hyphae is a thread. Okay, the thread of the fungi. Okay, how it attacks, how it invade on the any food material. See, hyphae penetrates in food. If there is a bread and a fungi is coming to it, okay, so their hyphae will penetrate in that bread. Okay, so hyphae will penetrate in the bread. Okay, and then it will release some enzyme. Okay, the fungi will release some enzyme to digest the food. Okay, to digest that the particles of food, and then starts to absorb it. Okay, and then later our food becomes it gets damaged. Okay, we that is not more able to eat. Okay, so this is how fungi will attack on a bread or any food material. Okay, now about its reproduction. The molds can be reproduced by both methods, that is asexual and sexual both. Okay, so the asexual reproduction, how it do asexual reproduction. First of all, the mycelium grows. Okay, the mycelium in the fungi body starts to grow. Okay, when it do growth, its hyphae become erect. Okay, their hyphae upper thread is become erect like this. If this is the body of fungi, the hyphae is erect like this. Okay, and get swollen at the tip. Like this. Okay, so these hyphae get swollen at tip. These are called sporangium. What they are called? They are called sporangium. Okay, now it turns black. The whole swollen tip turns black when the spores present inside it gets mature. Okay, sporangia means the body part which contains spores. Okay, so this part becomes black in color when the spores will get matured. Okay, and after it get matured, the sporangium burst. Okay, it will get burst. It will get burst like this, so that these spores can get liberated from this. So the spores liberated out. Okay, and then spores find out the suitable substratum for them. Okay, they find a suitable place. Okay, then when they get a suitable place, then they start germination. Okay, the spores can live for so many times. Okay, even though many years it can live inside the zygote, inside the spore can live for a long time. Okay, if it is not getting a favorable condition, then it may live for 10, 20, 30 years. Okay, and if when they get suitable temperature, okay, then it will get germinate. Okay, so this is how molds or the fungi do reproduction. Okay, now the another fungi you have given, that is yeast. Okay, we are going to study about the general features of yeast. Okay, so it is found in the form of separate spherical cells. Okay, and it included in the genus Saccharomyces. Okay, you know very well what is the genus. Okay, we have studied about it in the chapter classification. Okay, classification of animals and plants. So Saccharomyces is the genus of fungi. Under this genus, so many fungi are there. Okay, after that, these are all one-celled fungi. Yeast are one cell, that is unicellular. Okay, it occurs singly or budding chain. It may found in single and in the chain as well. Okay, it is freely found in the atmosphere. Okay, it easily grow on sugar solution. It can easily grow on sugar solution. Okay, and you might have heard fermentation, about the fermentation. So fermentation, yeast, the fermentation happens due to this yeast. Okay, if you have any sugar solution in your home, if you keep it for 3 to 4 days, after 3 to 4 days you will see that it may get fermented. Okay, its sweetness turns into slightly sour. Okay, sourness. So that is the fermentation of yeast. So it easily grows on the sugar solution like grapes, flower nectar, sugar cane juice. Okay, now if you see its structure, it is ovoid in shape. Okay, like oval shape, and having vacuole, more than one vacuole, that is cytoplasm. Okay, this vacuole, this is nucleus, the cell wall, it having cell wall, and the glycogen granules that is using for their food materials. Okay. Now see nutrition. Nutrition is directly absorb simple sugar. It can directly absorb the simple sugar. But if there is sucrose, okay, sucrose is little bit greater than the glucose. Okay, we have to break down the sucrose into the glucose. Okay, so yeast by some enzyme, it release some enzyme and break down the sucrose into the simple sugar, that is glucose, and then it can absorb it. Okay, and if you see the respiration is anaerobic respiration. You know very well what is this. Anaerobic respiration is respiration without oxygen. Okay, without oxygen, that is anaerobic. This is the equation for that. C6H12O6 glucose and 2C2H5OH, that is ethanol. It takes a bone and 2 CO2, it releases carbon dioxide and gains 2 ATP. Okay, it gains ATP for energy. Okay, now what is its economic importance? Economic importance is the whole economic importance is because of this property of alcoholic fermentation. Okay, alcoholic fermentation, and it also helps in the bread production. We have to ferment the breads. Okay, the raw material of the bread. So next is beverages. In the production of beverages, yeast is very helpful. So quality of alcohol, mostly it is used in the production of alcohol. Okay, so quality of alcohol depends on the kind of yeast we have to use in the fermentation. Okay, so this is the yeast. Okay, so this was the economic importance of yeast. In next session we will study about the harmful effect of the fungi. Okay, thank you.